What's up, family? Oh man, uh, hate to bring a bring a broadcast like this, but man, I got to speak on this. If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Also, family, smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. You got to put it in their face. Make sure you comment and share. I'm going to get right into this subject and this topic, and then I'll come and I'll check out your comments. I'll start in the super chat and work my way over into the regular chat. But whoa, so as the world is coming to terms with the death of former NBA great Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna Bryant, and 7 other people who died in a helicopter crash, people are now like asking questions about Kobe's remaining family members outside of his daughters, his 3 daughters, and Vanessa. As you know, Kobe's helicopter went down in foggy weather in Calabasas, California, about 40 miles northwest of central Los Angeles, and it crashed and killing all aboard. So while much of the world is like mourning Kobe Bryant, his parents, the history with his parents is coming into question. I didn't even know about the rocky history that his parents had with him over the last decade. As you know, Kobe Bryant was the son of a former NBA basketball player by the name of Joe Jellybean Bryant and Pamela Bryant. They had 3 children together. He had 2 sisters, and then they had Kobe. Kobe's parents helped him pave a path to the NBA. They were there with him every step of the way, even during the championships and all of that stuff. But they fell out back in 2013 when Kobe's mother decided to sell more than 100 pieces of memorabilia without his knowledge. She went to an auction house in New Jersey and got a $450,000 advance toward that memorabilia. Kobe said she did it without his permission. Kobe filed a cease and desist. They went through a messy court battle, and it doesn't say how that battle ended, but Kobe did file a cease and desist. Well, actually, it says that they actually came to some type of amicable agreement to settle, and there were like 6 items she was allowed to actually sell. The memorabilia included awards, trophies that Kobe had received since he was a little leaguer, like since he was playing AA ball and like all in high school, all of this stuff. The mother said that Kobe gave this stuff to her. When Kobe made it into the NBA back in '96, his parents moved to California with him. The mother said when he met Vanessa, they were put out of the house and they moved back to New Jersey. So when they moved to New Jersey, and when they moved to New Jersey, the movers sent a lot of the memorabilia back with them. And they considered that to be a gift. In fact, the mother said that Kobe had gifted this stuff to her. And Kobe said, no way. And so that was the bone of contention. So they have been on rocky terms ever since. And check this out. Even before Kobe retired, that was an issue, with he and his parents. Kobe attended a game with his wife and daughters, and he did not even mention his parents during his retirement ceremony. Think about what I'm saying, family. At Kobe's retirement ceremony, he did not mention his parents' name. Now you fast forward to today, his memorial. Let me try to put this in perspective. These are the two people who gave him life. If they don't meet and procreate, Kobe does not exist. If Jelly Bean doesn't coach him, if the mother don't take him back and forth to the practices and encourage him, feed him, nurture him, he don't get to the NBA. If he's not inspired by his father who raised him, who afforded him a comfortable lifestyle to where he was able to travel abroad and live in Italy for some time, get educated. This educated Kobe Bryant that we all know of, we all speak of, is due to his parental guidance, the parental financial support that he received. They molded Kobe. Yes, a lot of Kobe's success, most of Kobe's success had to do with Kobe. But before Kobe can become this great iconic figure, somebody had to get him there, help him get there. And it was his parents. They paved the path to the NBA for him. And they fall out behind money, of all things. Now, I understand Kobe, the memorabilia is something personal to Kobe. And Kobe said, hey, I wanted to pass that on to my daughter. I did not want to give you this. I wasn't leaving you this stuff. I don't know who to believe, because the thing about beefs and conflict is each person can sound very, very convincing when you hear the stories. And so a lot of times you just tend to believe the person you want to believe. You ever watch these crime dramas? And they'll start talking about a suspect, and they'll say, and Jason could not supply an alibi when checked, and his story did not add up. And you start being like, oh damn, look like Jason did it. And then they'll say, and then they'll fast forward and say, but there was another suspect, and he lived right across the street from the victim, and Then you're like, well, damn, well, maybe he did it. So I don't know who to believe. But it's sad when family fall out behind money and material things, because that's all it was. That's all of that memorabilia and all that stuff. I understand it's personal stuff, and some people care more about personal stuff, material things, than others. I see you, AJ. Even the great Michael Jackson thanked Joe. Yeah, exactly. And you know how contentious their relationship was. Without Joe Jackson, there is no Michael Jackson. There is no Janet Jackson. There is no Jackson 5. There's no Janet, but anyway, a long time ago, me and my cousin, I did a favor for him, and he owed me money. and the money didn't come back right. At that time, this is my cowboy Western days, I always had the idea like, you do me, I'm gonna do you, and it don't matter if you family, if you get out of line like that, I'm gonna get you. And I don't care. And I was like, man, I do not want to be the dude at the family reunion that people are looking at crazy. My aunts are looking at me like, you're the reason why such and such is not here. So I made it a point, at that point, I said, you know what? I'm just not going to allow money to get between me and family. So it really taught me a lesson about even loaning money to family. So now if there is a situation where there's a money issue or whatever, then I can count my losses right there and just know that we'll never do business again ever in life. And that'll be my lesson learned. However much of money was involved, then that's how much it cost me to get rid of you and put some distance between me and you. But to have a funeral, especially a funeral of such magnitude, and have people from all over the globe, all walks of life, speaking on behalf of your son, and you not being mentioned once. If I listen to the people who spoke at Kobe's funeral, I would think that Kobe's parents never existed, because even if they were dead, they should be acknowledged, right? This is parents. I would think his living siblings who he's survived by, would speak at his funeral or at least be mentioned. I understand beef. Trust me, I understand beef. But to go that far, I mean, was his parents really that bad? Okay, maybe, you know, out of a show of desperation, a sign of desperation, they sold his memorabilia and they had no business trying to sell it. He got it back because he stopped the sale and he ultimately took control of everything. But that's a big fallout. Maybe because they did all the things that they did for him, they thought that, well, maybe we deserve something. You know, he should look after us. I mean, we're not doing so great financially. So, you know, maybe they felt some kind of way and they was like, well, we got this memorabilia, it's worth something. Ain't no use to just let me sit around and collect dust. I'm about to sell it, you know? So they sold the memorabilia. The sale had to be reversed because Kobe put an injunction on it. He put a cease and desist, but they still received $450,000 and they bought a house with that money. So maybe they made that mistake. But does that one fallout wipe away life? Does that one fallout wipe away changing your shitty diapers? Does that one fallout constitute you ignoring the fact that they fed you, they clothed you, they sheltered you, they protected you, they guided you, they taught you, they coached you, they counseled you? Does that one fallout really, was it that serious? I'm not saying it wasn't serious, but was it that damn serious where you have a funeral? I'm talking about a funeral for the world. It's not even a private little funeral, because you know, I know how petty some wives are, some wives are, you know, they fall out with their in-laws and they say, well, we're gonna have a funeral. Well, I don't want them there. And even that is a problem. But to have the funeral on a world stage, the mother and father was there. They were, at least they were in attendance. Thank God they allowed them to even attend. And for them to not speak, that's cool, because I don't even know if I could get through something like that anyway. So that's normal for parents to not speak. That I don't have a problem with that. But for them to not even be acknowledged, nobody acknowledged the parents. Unless I missed something, I heard not one person acknowledge Kobe Bryant's family, his sisters, or his parents. Nobody acknowledged his parents. What, did Kobe Bryant's life start at 18 years old when he got into the NBA? What happened before the 18 years? They totally ignored the parents. Nobody spoke of the parents. Nobody even said, you know, thank you. Just took the higher ground. Jimmy Kimmel basically, you know, he narrated basically the whole funeral. He was the MC. He couldn't like mention the parents one time, even at the end. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you, Jelly Bean. Come on, family. That ain't right, man. I don't get down like that. That ain't right. Samir Williams, I wanted to see his parents and family speak at the funeral. Right on. That ain't right, man. That is not right. That I don't give a damn what nobody say. That was not right. Raphael, I see you. Nazar Amin, think they wasn't fond of his wife. Still not right. Not right at all, bro. No, they wasn't fond of her. But that ain't right. That ain't right, man. That's cold-blooded. That's cold-blooded. I mean, not to even acknowledge the parents. I'm wondering now, did Vanessa tell the speakers to don't mention the parents' name? I'm wondering if she have a conversation like, okay, listen, you can speak, but you cannot mention the parent's name. Oh, trust you me. I may be the first one speaking on this, but somebody, this is gonna hit, the shit gonna hit the fan on this one. This is gonna get out there, and then people, this is gonna make a lot of people angry, and people gonna start coming out to Vanessa on this one. That was not a good look. I thought she made a lot of good moves. She made a good move renaming the Mamba Foundation. I think she made a good move with the way she handled the ticketing at the funeral. She made a good move to sue the operator of the helicopter. She made a good move in the way that the whole the funeral, the memorial that happened before the funeral, the memorial, the private memorial that took place, allowing the family, the personal close family, to grieve. I don't even know if Kobe's parents was at that memorial, but to totally ignore the parents, it's like they never even existed. Like Kobe somehow, like Kobe was, I mean, damn, you know, even Jesus had a mama, you know, he at least had a mama. Like, how did Kobe Bryant get here? Did Kobe Bryant just magically appear? Did he go, psh, That ain't cool, man. No, man, bad move, man, bad move. I know some of these new people, I know some of y'all new school people, y'all think, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Man, they ain't do right by Kobe, you know, like whoop de whoop, you know, y'all quick to cancel somebody. I don't care if it is my mama, I don't care if it is my daddy. You ain't did this to me, they hurt me. So I don't want nothing to do with them ever again. And she got a right. She don't like them, they ain't like her. You know, she lucky they allowed her, they lucky they allowed her. I mean, she allowed them to be at the funeral. That's how some of y'all think. And you wonder why your life is so difficult, why you have so much drama in your life, why you have so much stress in your life, so much anxiety in your life, because you ain't got a good spirit. Your spirit ain't right. Your heart ain't right. That's wrong, man. That's wrong. Can't nobody convince me that those people, all of those people got up on that stage, on that dais. All those people that got up on the dais and spoke. Not one of them mentioned the parents. Not one time in 2 hours. In 2 hours of service, the parents' names did not get mentioned one time. Nobody even as much as pointed at the parents like, I see you. Nothing. That ain't right, man. That's not right. Not right at all. And here's the thing too. I actually thought that the funeral was perfectly planned. I like the idea that it was over within 2 hours. It was more informative than it was entertaining. That's what I got from it. It was not like, you know, Aretha Franklin funeral was a show. You know, it was just big old show. And I love Aretha to death and I still respect her dearly, but it was a show and it was too long. It's too much going on, just way too much singing. Oh man, way too much singing. This funeral was more informative. You really got an insight on who Kobe was. But imagine if the sisters were allowed to speak. And I don't even know if the invitation was extended for them to speak. But imagine if we heard a lot of great stories of Kobe, the competitor, Kobe, the father, Kobe, the friend, Kobe, the husband, you know, Kobe, the ball player. But we didn't hear Kobe, the brother. See, those sisters have some keen insight on who he is. Perhaps because he was raised with two sisters that he felt obligated to look out after. Perhaps that had something to do with his love for women's sports and how affectionate he was toward his little girls. It had to be something that his mama gave him early on, because no son who has a tumultuous relationship with his mother, well, I would say almost no son who has a tumultuous relationship with his mother from day one, is going to be able to have a close relationship with his daughters like that. Be that attentive, that focused on fatherhood. I will guarantee you that came from his mama. So you get older and you become famous and you start making money and you fall out with mama and you can't get back on the right track. Come on, man. Nah, man, I ain't with that. Like I said, I loved I thought the ceremony was beautiful, but it missed one major component, and that is the mention of his living parents. Now, I can see if, out of sight, out of mind, perhaps if the parents were dead, maybe nobody mentions it, because, you're not thinking like that. You're thinking about who's here now. So maybe I can see something like that. But to have two living parents in the audience and not one person mentioned their name, not one mention of their name in a 2-hour service, miss me with that, bro. Rude Dan. The word of God says, honor your mother and father so you can live long and prosperous. Like many who dishonor, Kobe's days was cut short. I don't think his days was cut short because of that. I think he and his parents had a rift, and I think it lasted too long. And I do believe as Kobe thought that he was on his way out, or his parents thought that Kobe was on his way out, they would have patched things up. Oftentimes when you have these rifts, you take in family rifts, you take for granted that that person is going to still be alive when you decide that you want to patch it up, when you're ready to get off your high horse, and when you're ready to apologize, or when you're ready to accept their apology, then it'll happen at that time. And oftentimes we just take for granted that people are going to still be here. And so I think that the foundation was there, that Kobe had a solid foundation. He could not have become the man he was without it. He had a solid foundation. At some point, there was some movement in the ground, and it cracked. And all he had to do is get a foundation repair, get up under that thing and repair that foundation, and boom, you're good again. But, just like you might have foundation issues in your house, you kind of like, it's still livable. So you just kind of go through the motions or whatever, and you take your time. You got a problem, but you kind of live with it. And I think they live with the problem too long. I can guarantee you his mama and daddy is suffering even more than anybody right now because they never got a chance to patch it up. Who is that? Just T Nuke? Nuck, that's Nuck. It ain't much but God bless you. Absolutely. Appreciate you, homie. Yeah. Welcome to the membership. Welcome to the channel. Sheila Aaron, welcome to level 1. Yeah, man. Cold game, man. Not right at all. I thought that Jordan surprised me. I thought Jordan was going to make his speech about him because Jordan makes everything about Jordan. And for a moment, I thought he was going to go that, Kobe's always called me about this and that. And then, I thought he was going to go there like he did with his Hall of Fame speech. He just kind of like, he used this Hall of Fame speech as a moment instead of praising all the people that helped him along the way. He used it to eviscerate some people. I mean, he destroyed some of the people that helped him along the way. He was still just bitter. But I thought Jordan gave an excellent speech. And that little comic relief that he used with that crying meme, he said that he was crying, and he said that he didn't want to cry because he know he's gonna have to he didn't want to have to see this another crime meme for the next 3 or 4 years. That was funny as hell, because I know that's what everybody was thinking when he was sitting up there crying. I was thinking to myself, they're gonna get him. And for him to acknowledge that, I mean, the whole arena erupted in laughter. So that was a good moment, very good moment. I thought that the information that his agent, Rob Polinsky, what's his name? Rob Pelinka, I believe. His former agent, the general manager of the Lakers, and the godfather to Gigi. He knew a lot about Kobe. He had been around Kobe for 20 years. So for him to give us some insight on what that relationship was like, and what type of things that drove Kobe, and how he doted over his children and his wife and things like that. I thought that was really good. Every single person that spoke well. Shaq, I felt what Shaq was saying. Shaq's speech was short, but it was effective. So yeah, overall, it was a very, very good. It was a good service overall, but it's just that missing link throws me off. That missing link, not mentioning the parents. That's the part, with all of the goodness of it, that part right there, not acknowledging those parents, I ain't gonna be able to get over that one. Yeah, that was the agent. That was his agent saying that? Saying that he had texted him while he was sitting in church. I believe that was Rod saying that he had texted him while he was sitting in church. And he said Kobe was texting him from the helicopter and texting him about, asking him, did he know of a baseball agent? I believe he said baseball agent, some type of baseball person, because one of his friends that was aboard the helicopter had a daughter who wanted to play baseball, and Kobe was trying to make the connect so that she could get some, she can get into a camp. And so, basically, driving home, Kobe's, even just moments before he died, how he had done another thing that was heroic or unselfish, just looking out for others, trying to make another little girl's dream come true. Yeah, he was on his game. Miss OMG says maybe it was all Kobe's wishes. We don't know their relationship. That's true, but I doubt it. It's no way you can be all of that kind of Kobe Bryant, being as gracious, generous, caring of others, looking out for all these people, even your own children, and being a great husband, a great father, and tell your wife, look, in the event of my demise, I don't want my family, I don't want my mother and father's name to be mentioned at my funeral. If anything, even if he was that type of person, he wouldn't say, I don't want their name mentioned. He would first and foremost say, I don't want them there. They were there. So I don't believe that at all. Yeah, Harry Coburn says, yeah, And would have mentioning the parents hurt anything? Absolutely not. In fact, mentioning the parents is the glue that holds the program together. It's the parents. Denise Dublin says, everyone is acting like Kobe dropped from a tree with no parents because everyone ignored them. Exactly. My point. So explaining what I had said earlier, if you're just not tuning in, Kobe's parents were omitted from being mentioned at his memorial, he and Gigi's memorial. Now, they were there, they were in attendance. In fact, I'll share the picture of them in attendance. Let's see. Let's see, hold on. Thought I had it ready. Got to be ready to go. Oh, I closed it. Let's see, Kobe Bryant's parents. So, cold game, man. Cold game. So this is the parents in attendance at the funeral. His father, mother, who, by the way, was at all of the games, all of the championships. You know, you don't go that far and just cut your parents off. You know, like I say, maybe they wasn't speaking. You know, maybe it was bad, real bad at that time. But when he died, at the time of his death, this is one of his sisters right here. So perhaps you got all of that going on. But again, you know, we take for granted that we have these spats and beefs with our family and loved ones that we got time to patch it up. We take for granted that, hey, you know, we fell out before. We'll come around. I'll come around when I decide to come around. And I know the parents got to be sitting there like, wait a minute. All these people speaking on our son. Who know our son better than we knew him? You know? Think about that. I can tell you what happened. I can tell you what happened in the delivery room. That's how well I know him. Y'all feel me, family? Like, I can tell you what happened with my son in the delivery room. In fact, I can tell you what happened on the night he was conceived. I can tell you what happened before he was conceived. I can tell you what I thought, you know, what type of boy I wanted a boy, and this is what my thoughts were. I could tell you things that nobody could tell you about this kid. I can tell you what he was like the first time he got his hair cut, the first time he went, to the hospital to get his immunization shots, his first haircut, his first day of school. I can tell you, the kind of foods that he didn't like growing up, and the type of food that he grew to love when he got older. Like it's so much that the parents did. This was not a kid that was adopted. This was a kid who was raised by his parents. Sheila Aaron, welcome to level one. Sheila says, I appreciate you for this. I don't care what your parents do. They're still your parents no matter what. They got to be grieving. Ain't nothing mothers love. How small of them. They got to be grieving. Ain't nothing mothers love. I get what you're saying. Big Dub says Kobe and his pops were patching things up. Not sure about his mom's, maybe. Yeah, so, I think what happens a lot of times is that we tend to take family and very, very close friends for granted. So sometimes we can have a fallout, and instead of patching it right up, we know we should patch it up, but we feel like we got time. And I think in this situation, they ran out of time. Both of them, Kobe and his parents, they ran out of time. Virginia Hill. Welcome to the channel, Virginia. King T, I see you. Was his family seated by his wife and children? I don't know. AJ, I see you. I don't know. I don't know if his parents were seated by the wife and kids. But I'm telling you, family, this is the way I operate. Like, listen, I know some family you can cut off. You get one mama, you get one daddy. You can get a lot of friends, you can get more cousins. You can even have more aunts and uncles. You only get one mama, you only get one daddy. You can't give them back, you can't pick them. So no matter what goes on between you and your parents, they're still your parents. And I just feel like that when people, pretty much all the people that I know who beef with their parents all the time, they have a hard life. All of them have a hard life. So as much as Kobe was being celebrated and he was smiling and he was happy, I can guarantee you that part, Kobe was a perfectionist, and he wanted to win at everything. You think he didn't want to win at being a son? I think that he probably just took for granted that it was going to get patched up, and he ran out of time. This don't take anything away from Kobe as a man, because we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and we all make mistakes. But when you have an opportunity to get it right, at a funeral, you only get one opportunity to get it right. You can't do a funeral again. You get one opportunity to do it right. And that's it. They should have done it right. They should have acknowledged Kobe's parents. In fact, Vanessa should have swallowed her pride and acknowledged them. It would have been better coming from her. It would have been more genuine, you know, and she didn't have to make it really unusual, like really strange or whatever. She could have simply said something in the end, like, and, you know, she didn't have to even go into any beef or anything. She didn't have, if anybody didn't know that story, she didn't even have to bring the story up or allude to anything. All she had to say is, you know, Mama Bryant, Daddy Bryant, thank you for giving me Kobe. Bang! Out of here. Knocked it out the park. It wouldn't have taken anything from her. In fact, it would have made her bigger and it would have made her more enduring to the fans. You know, more endearing to the fans. It would have really, really put the cherry on top of the whipped cream, so to speak. You know, that would have been beautiful, but she missed the golden opportunity. Oh, wow. I said the exact same thing. I'm reading Adesh Sani. Man, I can't say that name. Adesh Sania. You know what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna call you Ad. He said that would have been beautiful. I said the exact same thing, and then like as soon as I looked down at the chat, she had the exact same words. Yeah, that would have been beautiful, man. That's all she had to say. And I'm not even talking about her right now. I probably wouldn't even be on live right now. Probably doing something else right now. But I had to do this live and just acknowledge, like I'm acknowledging his parents. I'm gonna acknowledge his parents. No matter what, I know that, and I've been there myself, certain things cannot be forgiven. But Kobe didn't have, Kobe parents wasn't the parents that was, you know, was absent. He didn't have absentee parents. He didn't have abusive parents. You know, not to our knowledge. He's never spoken of anything along those lines. All we've ever known Kobe's parents to be was supportive of him. You know, even during his championship runs, they were always there. They were always at the games. Yeah, so this is something that this just really, really rubs me the wrong way. Parents should have been acknowledged. Kobe's a great individual. He was a great person. He left an amazing amount of work. He put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces. But you cannot mention Kobe Bryant without mentioning his parents. It's impossible. You cannot think of Kobe Bryant without thinking, well, who raised him? Where did he get this from? That's the first thing a person wants to know. What tree did he fall off of? You know, where is his roots? You want to know what Kobe Bryant's roots are? If Kobe Bryant right now was researching his roots, Kobe Bryant himself would have to start with his mother and father. He's not starting with, if we want to research his roots, he's not going to start with his coach, his high school coach. He's not going to start with Phil Jackson. He's not going to start with Michael Jordan or Shaquille O'Neal. He's not going to start with Jerry Buss. He's not going to start with Vanessa. He's not going to start with his children. He's going to start with his mother and father. Man, right is right and wrong is wrong, man. That's wrong. They did mom and daddy wrong on this one. That's wrong. See what else y'all saying over here. Focus hard. What's up, baby? I see you. AJ, I couldn't read your comments earlier because it was cut off, but I see you now. And you said the only celebrities to have mentioned Kobe's parents were Joe and Pam on TV by name was Charles Barkley and Tracy McGrady. T-Mac mentioned the sisters by name. Yeah, T-Mac and Kobe were childhood friends. So, you know, they played basketball. Ain't that something to have greatness push you? And imagine T-Mac could have been easily the Kobe Bryant, but T-Mac got injured. And so he was plagued with injuries for most of his career. So he couldn't get to the level that Kobe got to. Kobe got plagued, you know, at the end of his career. T-Mac was plagued with injuries almost immediately, but you saw many signs of greatness with T-Mac. And imagine T-Mac and Kobe. Imagine you playing a game, a pickup game, and it's a 3-on-3. And you got Kobe on one side, T-Mac on the other side. Any one of these dudes with the ball, man, can you imagine how many games they won together? That is sick to think of that. Focus Hard says, good point, Willie D. True point. Please support Professor Black Truth. Word. Trying to open this chat up so I can see what Queen of Attraction is saying. Trying to open this super chat up. What's going on here? There's got to be a way to open. I'm missing something here. Viewer activity. Can't figure out how to open this thing all the way up. Oh man. This move, the way they played mom and daddy, man, it's got me aggravated. New World Rob, I see you. What's up, Sugar Love? Pete Taylor, Dallas in the building. So if you're just not joining in, smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. So we're talking about Kobe Bryant's parents, who was at the funeral, and I'll show you a picture of them again real fast. Or I'll say real quickly. My son likes to say everything real quickly. Dad, real quickly, can I go in here? Real quickly, can we stop by here? Real quickly. Like if you add quickly to the end of it, it'll somehow make it better. But this is a picture of Kobe's parents and one of his sisters at the funeral. They went totally ignored at the funeral. They were not mentioned at all by anyone in a whole 2 hours. They were totally ignored at the memorial that took place today at the Staples Center in LA. Totally ignored. So I'm trying to get back to what I was about to say. So as I was saying, you know, like Kobe's funeral was today. You had a lot of people that came up who knew him personally. His closest friends spoke at his funeral. The only relative that spoke was his wife, Vanessa. While all this is going on, people are wondering, like, what's up with the parents? Like, the parents are in the audience, and we're wondering, are they going to say anything? Is the sisters going to get up there and say anything? But not only do they not say anything, they're not even mentioned in the whole entire program. I'm wondering, were they even mentioned, in the on the program itself, on the physical program? But they were not verbally mentioned in a whole 2-hour program. Now, so you wonder, like, what's going on and what's the deal? So I looked it up. I didn't know that they were beefing. I looked it up. I went online, I Googled it. I Googled the parents. And it turns out that he and his parents had a fallout. They had a public fallout in 2013, while he was playing for the Lakers. The mother had sold over 100 pieces of memorabilia from his childhood days of playing basketball to the NBA. She sold it to an auction house for a $450,000 advance so that she and her husband could buy a new house. Well, when Kobe got wind of it, he filed a cease and desist, and here come the battle, the legal battle. The auction house filed a counterclaim. Eventually, they settled, and Kobe allowed his mother to sell 6 pieces of memorabilia. He allowed her to keep 6 pieces. Everything else he kept. Now, and they have been feuding ever since. Now, I'm told that Kobe and his daddy was trying to patch things up. I don't know where he stood with his mother, the woman who birthed him. But nonetheless, that's what this whole thing is about, the fallout. And also the fact that when Kobe first met Vanessa in '96, his parents were staying with him in LA. When he met Vanessa, they were put out of the house. And at that point on, I guess they looked at Vanessa like they didn't really like her. They probably looked at her like, oh, she's the one who stole our son from us. She's trying to steal our son from us or whatever. I don't see it that way. I see a grown man who's met a woman that he wants to marry and make his wife and build a future with. And I can see that he wants his own space. He has enough money to move them around and get them their own home anywhere they want to live in the world. But he wanted his space for he and his wife to do their thing and to build their family. So I'm not mad at him about that, but perhaps his parents were, because they thought that maybe she was trying to steal their son away from them. And you know how mothers are, that wife don't get that approval from mama, it's gonna be drama. So apparently they never got to be on good enough terms for an extended amount of time. Had to be like that because otherwise Vanessa, who was controlling this whole memorial, she's in charge of everything. She would have made sure that they had been recognized. She would have made certain of that, but she didn't do that. In fact, I would go out on a limb and say she probably went out of her way to make sure that their names were not mentioned during the course of the program. It's one thing that they're not on the program. I can get that. You know, it's not normal for parents to speak at their children's funeral. I get that. Most parents couldn't take it anyway, because they say the death of a child is the worst thing that you'll ever experience. So imagine Vanessa lost her husband. And I know, like, the way the law works is that the spouse takes control of the estate. The spouse is the person that's in charge. I get that. Legally in charge, your spouse. But let's go back. The death of a child, it has been often said, is the greatest loss that you will ever experience. So it is safe to say that as much as Vanessa loved Kobe Bryant, his parents loved him more. Now think about what I'm saying. Because his parents are not going to get another son back. They're not going to have another child. They're not going to have another son. They're not going to have another Kobe. Vanessa can find another husband. Vanessa will probably eventually marry. Vanessa's going to meet another man. She's going to have another spouse. She probably get married at some point. And not saying that she will forget about Kobe. She can't forget about Kobe, but she'll have another spouse. Kobe's parents cannot replace Kobe Bryant. A parent cannot replace a child, not even with another child. So that's the cold part right there, man. I can't get with that. I can't ride with that, you know. And I'm one of the first people that'll tell you that, you know, blood don't make your family, loyalty do. So I have no problem cutting off dead weight family members or friends. But mama and daddy, you know, daddy ain't no serial killer. No, mama ain't no crackhead. Mama didn't kill. But even if mama, what Pac say? Even though you was a crack fiend, mama, you always was a black queen, mama. Anyway, that's mama. Gave you life. Come on, man. Come on, man. That ain't right, bro. That ain't right. So that's what's going on, family. You know, we're talking about how this went down, how they totally ignored the parents at the funeral. You know, otherwise, great ceremony, great. Everything planned to the T, but the devil is in the details. And it had to be the work of the devil to omit the parents from even being mentioned at that funeral. That had to be the devil at work. Jay says, Kobe wrote a letter to himself when he retired that if he could go back, he will not give his parents no money. He was out of pocket for that one. I gotta look after that. Let me look that up real quick. Kobe wrote a letter to his parent, to himself. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I think this may be the letter. This is the letter. Oh, you said in retirement. Because I'm reading now, I'm about to read you guys a letter that he wrote to himself. A letter he wrote to himself when he was 17. Okay, it says, after his third NBA career, but before his tragic death at 41, Kobe Bryant wrote a letter to himself, his 17-year-old self to be precise. Okay, so he wrote this after. Okay. By this time, Bryant had accumulated 5 NBA championships and a net worth of $680 million. But it wasn't just material things Bryant had acquired. The Black Mamba had also collected a lot of wisdom, which was evidenced in his letter titled Letter to My Younger Self. Here's what the former Lakers star wrote. Dear 17-year-old self, when your Laker dream comes true tomorrow, you need to figure out a way to invest in the future of your family and friends. This sounds simple, and you may think it's a no-brainer, but take some time to think on it further. I said invest. I did not say give. Let me explain. Purely giving material things to your siblings and friends may appear to be the right decision. You love them, and they were always there for you growing up. So it's only right that they should share in your success and all that comes with it. So you buy them a car, a big house, pay all their bills. You want them to live a beautiful, comfortable life, right? But the day will come when you realize that as much as you believed you were doing the right thing, you were actually holding them back. You will come to understand that you were taking care of them because it made you feel good. It made you happy to see them smiling and without a care in the world. And that was extremely selfish of you. While you were feeling satisfied with yourself, you were slowly eating away at their own dreams and ambitions. You were adding material things to their lives, but subtracting the most precious gifts of all, independence and growth. Understand that you are about to be the leader of the family, and this involves making tough choices, even if your siblings and friends do not understand them at the time. Invest in their future, don't just give. Use your success, wealth, and influence to put them in better position to realize their own dreams and find their true purpose. Put them through school, set them up with the job interviews, and help them become leaders in their own right. Hold them to the same level of hard work and dedication that it took for you to get to where you are now and where you will eventually go. Hold on, let me share this with y'all. I don't know why I didn't do it at the beginning. Okay, I'm writing you now so that you can begin this process immediately, and so that you don't have to deal with the hurt and struggle of weaning them off the addiction that you facilitated. The addiction only leads to anger, resentment, and jealousy from everybody involved, including yourself. As time goes on, you will see them grow independently and have their own ambitions in their own lives, and your relationship with all of them will be much better as a result. There's plenty more I could write to you, but at 17, I know you don't have the attention span to sit through 2,000 words. The next time I write to you, I may touch on the challenges of mixing blood with business. Most important advice I can give to you is to make sure your parents remain parents and not managers. Before you sign that first contract, figure out the right budget for your parents, one that will allow them to live beautifully while also growing your business and setting people up for long-term success. That way your children's kids and their kids will be able to invest in their own futures when the time comes. Your life is about to change and things are about to come at you very fast. But just let this sink in a bit when you lay down at night after another 9-hour training day. Trust me, setting things up right now from the beginning will avoid a ton of tears and headache, some of which remains to this day. Much love, Kobe. All right, much love, Kobe. All right. Okay. That's a pretty good letter. And I can understand where he's coming from. I've been there and done that. I've been there and done that. You know, giving people things may make you feel good, but it doesn't always help them. It's like Kobe Bryant said, it can hurt them. I get that. So now he's starting to say, oh, I didn't know that Kobe Bryant's parents didn't attend his wedding. Wow. Neither did his sisters. Wow. I'll tell you this, family. When I first started making money, I'm gonna share a quick story with y'all. Really, I should be saving this for my book, but I'm gonna give it to y'all for free. When I first started making money with the Ghetto Boys, I was making more money in a day than most people would make all year long. I had never made that kind of money before. I felt guilty that I was the only one who had money around me. I come from the gutter. I come from the mud. Nobody had nothing. So when I started getting money, I didn't want to be the only dude with the fancy car. I wanted to set everybody up with the fancy car. I didn't want to be the only dude with the money in his pocket. I wanted everybody to have money. I didn't want to be the only one with a fresh outfit on. I want to get everybody fresh outfits. So I gave. And everybody took. And many of the people that I gave money, my aunts, my mom had 10 sisters, and half of them, I put them in their first homes. Again, I'm thinking, hey, this is what family do. You know, we family, you know, this is what we do. Now, some money I gave, some money I loaned. None of the money that I loaned was ever paid back. And I mean, none of it. A couple $100 here or there, but I loaned thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands collectively. Never paid back. So it took me a while to realize that they're never going to stop asking. I understand exactly what Kobe is saying about investing in people, not just giving them stuff, investing. If you got a plan, okay, you want this money, okay, what's the plan, what you gonna plan to do with this money, and how are we gonna make this money, how this money gonna come back? You know, I can invest in you, how are we gonna do this? You know, it's a business. Show me a business plan. All that money I gave is spent. All those cars I bought are gone. And now ain't nothing there but memories. Some of the people that I gave to, we don't even kick it no more. And I mean, some of them are family members. To this day, it's still like a trust issue because of that. if you want to have a trust issue with somebody, one of the quickest things to do is to do business with them. Because first and foremost, most businesses fail. And even the ones that succeed, when you start putting money in the mix, man, I don't care, man. There's just something about that money, man. People lose their minds when it comes to that money. So I get exactly what Kobe is saying about just giving people money and stuff like that. And I even his own parents. But you get to a point where you say, well, this is what it is, but to cut you again, and you can go without talking to mom and daddy, because mom and daddy might not want to talk to you. But I wouldn't advise that you stretch something like that out. In my opinion, it takes two to tango. So it's both parties should have been reaching out to each other and trying to make it right, trying to patch it up. It's not just Kobe. His parents had an obligation to patch it up also. But now what's done is done. And now we're here, it's Kobe's memorial. His wife, in my opinion, had an obligation to patch it up. She could have patched it up, made everything cool. And perhaps things would have never just been cool, but just in that moment for his memorial, to make that cool, to make that an event without scandal. Because that's the scandal part of the event. That's the scandal part of the memorial, is that the parents were not even mentioned. Now, they didn't go to that funeral. I mean, they didn't go to the wedding. So yeah, so they didn't like her. They never liked her, right? They didn't like her for jump. They didn't like her in 2001. So they don't like her now. I get that. But still, Kobe had to still love his parents to even be still doing for them, even though he hated it or whatever, and there was a lot of contention there. He still had to love his parents to even do that much for them. So yeah, they're on bad terms. Yeah, you never liked his parents. They're on bad terms. But do you really play that game? That's the hand you play? Or that's the card you play? That ain't right. You can't convince me otherwise. Tor King, let them know again, smash up the likes, family. Smash up the likes. Emilia says, when does Kobe ever acknowledge his parents in the audience? Yeah, like he didn't even announce it. Yeah, they say he didn't acknowledge them at his he didn't acknowledge them at his retirement ceremony. That's cold, bro. That's cold. Come on, family. Come on, man. King Q Cornell. Welcome to level 1. Got a new member, family. Welcome King Q to the family. Steering Rogers says, when they said Vanessa was his first girlfriend, I knew this was BS. She was a high school basketball. He was a high school basketball player who didn't have a girlfriend. Yeah, okay. I don't know what their history was. All I know is that she said that they met when they were 17, when she was 17 and a half. I do agree with what Kobe said in that letter, though, having a plan. Like, have the plan before the money starts coming in. Because y'all know, like he was saying, anytime you have a plan, you tend to execute better when you have a plan. It's just like if you were playing basketball or something, you go to the sideline and the coach draw up the plan. And if you stick to the plan, you got a better chance of executing as opposed to just throwing the ball in and trying to just doing whatever, just going off instincts or whatever. Just somebody pass the ball, as soon as somebody grab the ball at the half court, you jack the ball up, and somebody standing right up under the goal. So if you got a plan, you usually things are gonna work out for you better. So I do believe, I do love that letter, and I think they're gonna use that letter for many years to come, because that letter is right on the money. Had I had that letter and had the knowledge, I probably would have made better decisions. But like he said, at 17 years old, you can't really give a person a 2,000 word letter because their attention span is not there. I probably would have had the letter at 17 and wouldn't have done anything with it. I think you have to have, if you're 17 years old and you're coming into money, you almost got to have people that's already had money before to help you along the way and show you what to do with that money. Or you got to have somebody, who may have never had money, but they love you, they're protective of you, and they're very suspicious of anybody coming in trying to take advantage of you. Even when they go out and they seek a financial advisor, they're very suspicious of the financial advisor, and they're constantly watching. You got to have somebody like that, like a hawk, So my kids are about to come into money. My daughter is about to graduate law school this semester. My son got one more year of business school. They're paving their path right now. They're about to hit. They're about to hit, strike, and start going into their own money, coming in their own money. Because of my experience, and even their mother's experience with money, having money already, they're more likely to make better financial decisions because, number one, they're used to having nice stuff. Money is not new to them. So, and they've been warned many times, and they've seen what happens when you try to finance and bankroll everybody in the hood, just giving money away. They've seen it. So they know the red flags. So they're more likely to make better decisions than I did early on. I made a lot of, I was trying to look after everybody. I just didn't feel right being the only one to have it. But you really do have to have a plan, because if you don't, I don't care how much money you make, you'll find yourself right back in the hood, or right back there with your homies and your family members who broke, and you'll be another broke one. Who said it's an old saying, what if you got 5 friends that's broke, you're gonna be the 6th one. You hanging out with them, you're gonna be the 6th one, because they're taking, everybody's taking, and you're the only one giving. So eventually you're gonna be broke. In any event, it had to be tough for Kobe to fall out with the people that brought him into the world, who raised him. Fall out with his daddy who coached him. The reason why he got into basketball in the first place, if not for his daddy, he's not even playing basketball, let alone a star. That's how the ball bounces. What's up, Jay Withers? Queen of Attraction says, it was very disrespectful and proves how they see us. Jay Withers, Kobe wrote a letter. Okay, yeah, I read that. Yeah. Bad Gal Vivi says, I'm shocked the parents weren't invited to speak. I'm not shocked that they weren't invited to speak. I'm more shocked that they were not mentioned. You know, I really don't expect parents to speak at funerals. It's the whole concept of not even acknowledging them. Without Joe and Pamela, there is no Kobe Bryant, period. There's no Kobe Bryant, there's no Gigi, and none of those other girls. We're not even having this discussion. There's no memorial at the Staples Center with 20,000 people in attendance and millions watching all over the world. There is no additional 5 championship banners hanging at the Staples Center. There's no Mamba Academy, Mamba Foundation. There's none of that. You got to give them people their props, man. That's all I'm saying. Smash up the likes, family. Smash up the likes. Also, I got gear, family. Y'all want that No More Talk gear? Go into the description and click on that link and get you some gear. If you appreciate the videos, get you some gear. Put it in their face. Let them know. No more talk. Who is that? Angie Baby. Angie Baby. Thanks for all the content you've been giving us, Willie. I really enjoy your commentary. Appreciate you, baby girl. Thank you. That's what's up, fam. I'm going to shut it down. Until next time, it's all good. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. As they say in the military, carry on. No more talk.